Welcome to the first English educational session at the D67 Annual Conference in 2025. I'm your host today, Jenny Zhang from TGIF. This session is called Think Fast, Talk Smart. So I believe every one of you here wants to think fast and talk smart. Today we have two outstanding speakers with us, and we're all looking forward to their speech. So let me introduce our first speaker today, Von Eric Tandoc. He flies all the way from Canada. Yes, really honored to have him here. He focuses on youth leadership program. So I can see some people in our audience, they also focus on that program as well. Maybe you can ask him more questions later. He's a professional speaker and he's now the PQD in District 99. So now let's welcome Von Eric Tandoc.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here in your D67 conference. Now, Jenny mentioned that our topic is about talk smart, think fast. But first, I would like to say something before you can do that. You need to be confident. Now, let's check what are the keys to become a confident speaker. I have one request though. Can you say it loud, say it proud?
Say it loud, say it proud.
One more time, please.
Say it loud, say it proud.
That is what we need. We need to say it loud, say it proud. Moving on. And I would like to say our objectives here, okay? First, what are our objectives? We need to discover what are the keys to discover confidently speaking. And we need to know the importance of practice. The third one, it's very important, why we're here in Toastmasters, the evaluation or feedback. Lastly, the number 4, of course, we need to know more about communication. What is communication all about? And my question is, how do you stand up as a speaker? Are you nervous? Are you having that anxiety? This is the reason why they said Toastmasters is the best place, the safe place to fail. That's true. You get feedback, you get mentors, people who will going to support you. Toastmasters is the safest place to fail. Believe me, I failed many times. I was once a shy boy, shy young guy, and now, because of Toastmasters, it developed me to be a confident person. And I can say it loud, say it proud. I can convey my message. It's because of Toastmasters. So those are our objectives. And how do you stand up as a speaker? Now, the question is, how are you going to calm your nerves? You need to harness your nervousness. When we say harness your nervousness, take control. If you want to be a confident leader, take control of your fear. We all have fear. We all have anxieties. But it's only in here. The fear is here. One suggestion I learned from my mentors is said, don't think of your audience that you will fail. Think of them as they are the person who will like you to succeed. So I always put that in my mindset. Mindset is everything. So my mindset, instead of having fear because I'm in front of you, my mindset is, you are the one who will help me succeed. So that's the mindset of a speaker. Remember, even the most experienced speaker, they also have this anxiety. John Maxwell, Mel Robbins, one of my favorite authors, Anthony Robbins. Before they go and speak, they go at the backstage, they jump, they stretch to relieve that tension. success through your speech. Okay, so we need to be successful in our speech all the time. And we will incorporate many aspects to become a confident speaker later. The question is, why do you fear public speaking? In Toastmasters, they help us to become a better speaker, right? But actually, we fear the audience. We fear being ridiculed. We don't want feedback. Those are the reasons why we having anxiety or fear. You need to develop your self-confidence. And how do you develop your confidence? Communication. Communication, as we all know, is the two-way between one person and to two persons. At first, when I'm still learning about public speaking, I thought public speaking is about talking to 100 people like this, or probably talking to 1,000 people. It's not. When you talk to one person, that's already a public speaking. That's the mindset I had before. I thought, when I'm involved in public speaking, I'll be talking to thousands of people. No. Talking to your neighbor, to your friends, to your children. That's already a public speaking. Therefore, we are all public speakers. Communication is just public speaking. Next one. Being able to communicate is one of the most important skills. Have you heard about the so-called soft skill? For me, communication is not. It's not a soft skill, okay? It's one thing that we need to learn. Now, another key to become a confident speaker is organization. You need to organize your thought, okay? I've seen a lot of people who are great people out there, intelligent, smart, they have lots of ideas, but they don't speak. And I've been discussing with this a while ago with Carey. And we share the same observation, right? I've seen a lot of people. My wife is a good singer. Unfortunately, she doesn't want to sing in front of audience like this. He has this idea, she has this concept, she has this ability in her mind, but she doesn't speak. So you need to organize your ideas first before you become a confident speaker. Next one, why do you need to organize? It's simple. To convey your message, you need to organize your thought. That means to say, you need a clear, concise, and organized presentation. Remember, in Toastmasters, we know the three basic components of speech. Opening, there you go. That's organization. Next one, no words. When I say no words, this is all about body language. So use your body language, okay? Your smile, your body. So I always wanted to say this. Your body speaks too. Not just only the words. Show what you mean, okay? Last night, I'm with your conference chair and they're talking. And I'm just watching them, who goes first to the inside the car. And then, we're just talking, who will be the first one to drop off from one place to another. And I said, yes, understand. Oh, you did understand. Yes, it's because of your body language. So you see, body language is very important because it's 55% is conveyed through your body language. Did you watch the speech contest a while ago? Most of the message of their speech is through body language because it's 55%. Filler words. Okay. English is not my native language, but at first I have these filler words because when we speak, we think of what we're going to say, right? The secret, power of pause. Instead of having the filler word, that will not make you a confident speaker. So avoid filler words. We're doing this. We're having this practice in Toastmasters. You know that. But even the best speakers, best leaders in Toastmasters, they're still having that It's because it's always in here. You need to think smart that I should not be using filler words. Organizing your thoughts. This is very important, okay? Ideas. We talk about ideas, okay? Ideas is only here. It's not real if you will not put it into action. I always love saying, from abstract to concrete, from ideas to reality. So that's another key to become a confident speaker. Next one, you need to prepare your talk. Once you have your ideas, of course, you write your speech, and then you prepare your talk, and then you rehearse. Another key to impact you as a competent and confident speaker is diversifying your vocals. So you need to take care of your volume, your pitch, your rate, the quality, how confident you are in speaking. Is it natural? So your voice should be natural. Your best tool? My coach, she lives in Dubai. And when I'm running for Club Growth Director and she's mentoring me for my 2 minutes speech, I won the election because of her. And she said, use your voice. The best musical instrument in the world is our voice. Remember that. That's the best musical instrument in the world. Your own voice. Because that's you. It represents yourself. So that's your best tool. And you need to use your voice. Again, I mentioned this a while ago. Your volume, your pitch, your rate. So talk slowly. Particularly if English is not your first language. Have you heard about other people when they talk to another language is so fast? It's because that's not their natural language. That's not their native tongue. So you need to speak slowly. Communication is one thing, by the way, but the tone of your voice while communicating is another thing. So the tone of your voice is very important. Next one, evaluations. This is very important, and you know this one. Feedback may be judgment, opinion, evaluations, and we need this one. To be a better speaker, you need a coach. You need to hire a coach. The winners in international speech contests, the world public speaking, the champions, they have a coaches actually to help them become the champion or become the second place. The second place is from this district last year, right? So you need a mentor to coach you, and you need to get feedback. They always say feedback is the breakfast of all champions. So you need to take feedback. And to be able to get feedback, I would like to mention about the feedback sandwich. One of my passion is about giving evaluations in Toastmasters. I don't mind giving speech or delivering speech, but I love giving feedback. And when you give feedback, think of the Big Mac burger that divided into 3. The crown, the middle part is the club, and the lower part is the heel. So it represents positive feedback, negative feedback, or maybe constructive feedback, and another positive feedback. So it's like a sandwich. In summary of that feedback sandwich, the top layer is something positive to warm up your discussion. The middle is the feedback you actually wanted to say, and the last thing is something else to give more feedback, positive feedback. So that's the concept of the feedback sandwich. I know you're very familiar with this. So moving on, this is the most important when you receive a feedback. Q-tip. Quit taking it personally. Don't take it personally. Right now, I'm getting feedback right now. Later on, when I go there, they will give me feedback. I will not take it personally because I know I will grow with feedback. Necessary practice or rehearse. We all know the importance of practice in our communication, right? And preparing yourself for practice to step up, to become a successful. And everything you do, music, sports, dance, you need to practice. And the importance of rehearsal, you will become successful. Rehearse, of course, it helps you to avoid overtime in your presentation. And rehearse will make you more confident. Remember, if you have no practice, then you have no plan, and then you got no procedure. Even in a slide, right? Your slide presentation, if you don't plan that well, if you don't rehearse that well, then there's no procedure, there's no process. Tell your story is the last key to become a confident speaker. Tell your story. You have stories to share. In my youth leadership program one time, and I asked one of the youth participants, and he said, I don't have a story to tell. No, you have stories to tell. We all have stories. And you use stories in your presentation, that will give an impact to your presentation. Friends, I would like to share this one from Epictetus. He said, first, learn the meaning of what you say, and then you speak. I learned from one world champion. He's a native speaker of English, but there are some words that he can't pronounce. He avoids using that words. That's what I do. I avoid some words that I can't pronounce properly. Lastly, I really wanted to know the meaning of that word before I say it. And that's what Epictetus said. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, friends, regardless of which language you speak, you need to be confident. That's why I wrote the book, Say It Loud, Say It Proud. By the way, when you say it loud, say it proud, you have that energy. You are enthusiastic. You have that passion about something, and you want to say it loud, say it proud, because you have the confidence, you have the passion of something. So, what are the keys to become an impactful presenter? Well, you need to know about communication, organization, no words, which means body language, filler words, avoid it. Your ideas, make it into concrete, make it a reality. You need to diversify your vocals. You need to make sure you have that right thinking. How do you use your tone of your voice? Is it fast? Is it too slow? Is it natural or no? Evaluations, of course. Lastly, practice, practice, practice. And once you all do those procedures, then you will be able to tell your stories. Public speaking is a skill. I mentioned a while ago, it's not a soft skill. It's a hard skill actually, because it takes time, takes passion and dedication to learn that. I would like to say thank you for having me. Feel free to connect with me. My name is Tandoc, and I'm on social media, and I have my website. Let's connect, because I want to learn more from you, rather than you learning from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tandoc. We will save the Q&A session at the end of the whole session. Now our next speaker is our very own Carey Lee. She's a member of GDT Toastmasters, but actually she also has a connection to Canada. So both our speakers are connected to Canada. She first learned about Toastmasters in Canada, and when she came back to Taiwan, she joined the EYT Toastmasters. She not only served as a president, but also area director and division director. She has been a PR representative at companies for many years. So today, she's going to tell us how to apply our Toastmaster skills at workplace. Let's put our hands together and welcome Carey Lee.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So this is the first training session, right? Okay, I'm the second speaker. So what you just heard that Eric shared, we need to speak confidently. Then we need to move on a little bit. Where do we put our confidence to? Are you still now working? Please raise your hand. Okay, I think all of you, right? And are you working in a Taiwanese company? Thank you. Are you working in a foreign company, but with so many Taiwanese? Or are you working in a purely foreigner companies? Now I'm working in a company with 50% of foreigners in Taiwan. I think the percentage is already very high. But the nationality is not just come from one, which means we have so many different coworkers from different countries, whether it's a European, whether it's a South African, or whether it's Japan or Korean. So today, how we communicate with so many different people. I think the united thing is English, right? But remember, English is only a tool. It's a tool to help us to communicate with so many different people that their modern tongue is not English, including us. So today I will cover, there is no secret in my slides, but you still can take some pictures if you want. But what I'm going to say is that what we learned in Toastmasters here is so valuable, then you can bring it into a workplace and make something different. That really makes something different. If you want to do it, you can achieve it sometimes. I'm still on my way, so I couldn't tell you that I'm already achieved that. So today, cover some of the skills, some of the mindsets, and remember here is always the place that you can put into real practice. So the first one, I think you already know. We're here learning communication skills and leadership skills, right? How do you put them into your workplace? I already put that on it. Through communication skills, there are so many different soft skills you can use, right? Here we learned body language, how you put your gestures, how you put your eye contact, how you do the presentations. But believe me, those skills you won't see someone else in your workplace can excel than you. Because they're not practicing that. They think they know it, but we know it and we practice here. And the other thing, leadership skills. Do you think your managers in the workplace are leaders? No one's nothing, right? Some have the manager role because they're in a position. But leadership is no matter where you work in your workplace, you can show. What does the leadership actually means? Everyone will have different answers, I believe. Even you Google on the website, you will have so many different kind of results after that when you key leadership. But remember, I think the above 4 from Toastmasters, I think that really can cover a basic leaders I think we can learn to be. What is that? RISE. R-I-S-E. It's not R-I-C-E. So RISE is about respect, integrity, service, and excellence. When we know that is a core value of our leaders, and we put into practice in your everyday life, we already a leader. It's not in a position people tell you you are the manager, you are the director, you are the vice president. It just reflects that how long you've been in the company. It's not reflect if you are a leader or not. So these two things, remember when we are in Toastmasters, these two skills really makes difference. You will outstanding among the others. What does the outstanding means? Will we get higher salary? Will we make more friends in the company? Or will our ideas or proposal be accepted? I would say all of the above can happen. I couldn't tell you I'm the example, but where also can be one of the examples. So here, just point out some of the things when you have the mindset about communication skills and leadership skills. When you bump into some of the areas of your work, what will you do differently than others? The slides is very simple, but I think echo back to my topic in the very beginning when you're in so many different nationality working place. Some easy things might be a little bit difficult than you expected. So as you can imagine a little bit, when you have worked with so many different people, they will have so many different kind of culture, their working style, and how to collaboration. I will tell you, the collaboration is very difficult. Among the two reasons, something you expected, we should do this, we should do that, but people will react differently. So for example, this is very easy, right? But have you ever think of it? Do you or do your colleagues do all of the things well every day? You can think about it. Where is the most important thing? In my experience, I often receive an email invitation only with title, and then nothing else. What is the email about? What was the meeting about later on? Should I attend? Why? But this is still happening right now in the workplace. Why do we just write a clear title and clear content, tell people what are we going to do and what are you going to prepare before joining the meeting? I can tell you, when doing the meeting, most of the time, people don't turn on their camera. They also mute. So in the meeting room, 10 people, all muted, all without camera, only the host. You're laughing because you experienced it, right? I can tell you, most of the Taiwanese meeting act like that. But what can we do? We can encourage them if we're the meeting inviter. We can set our tone, we can prepare the following things, and we can encourage them to turn on the camera and speak. This is our practice in Toastmasters. It's not so hard, but we just didn't do it in the workplace, isn't it? When you hear all of the silence in the meeting, and you think, okay, this is really wasting my time sitting in the meeting room, even it's a virtual one. The other one, how do you communicate with your boss or your supervisor? This is just my thinking route when I'm going to prepare something and telling my supervisor what I'm going to do. Maybe something is different than yours, but you can take some reference. But below part, for example, I think time, important. Make your direction correct, not too far away from the expectation from your boss. And then make all the things, doing the revision in your acceptable place, and make it happen. And do it again and again next time. But remember, don't start doing anything without asking your supervisor what is it about, what's the purpose, what do you want to expect, and then start doing and finish and tell him, I'm finished. Then what the answer you will get? I don't want it. Make it again. So do something a little bit different in the front can ensure you the effort behind will be accepted. Will you prepare any workshop in the workplace? I believe you in Toastmasters did. Different kind of a workshop, whether it's a training one, it's a sharing one, it's a speech competition preparation. When we are preparing some of the workshop in the workplace, these are the things we learn in Toastmasters. I just bringing right into the workplace. Do you see any other things different? No, you already know it, right? But organizing a workshop is not just easy as you know the details. How you put into practice and make people think, I would like to follow your procedure or your structure. Then you practice in Toastmasters first and bring it into your workplace. So this is what I'm organizing, a small workshop for our finance team in February in Vietnam. So I combine some of the games in the front, but after combine some of the communication skills that they need to learn when they work into a diverse team. So thinking about communications when you use for external or your internal engagement, is there something different? I think the most important one is because when you are communicating with different groups, the language is the most difficult things. It's because we're not modern language of English when you are talking to a French, a Japanese, a Korean, a Vietnamese, a Taiwanese. We use English, but English, everyone have different understanding. They might misunderstand something you say. So doing that, you need to make sure your communication is two-way, not just one way, not just you tell him or they tell you. And also pay attention to some of the small details when people are in different time zones. That will also interfere the communication effect when you do it. So here I want to bring up a small questions to everyone. You can think about it. What will you do to solve some of the challenges when you communicate with different group of people? That you can use some of the experience from Toastmasters. I wish I could open a small time to let you think about it, and then maybe we can share a little bit because I haven't seen the green card yet. Perhaps we can have maybe 5 minutes to have a little discussion. What kind of challenges were you, when you're in that kind of a workplace? You need to think about it when your people sitting next to you is a Japanese or the other is from Brazil, how you communicate with them and try to work with them. And you're facing different challenges with the language thing or the time differences and some of the culture things people might get confused. What will you do to use your Toastmaster skills learned before? Could we try to time for 5 minutes a little bit? If it's okay, is it okay? Or is it time? So my time is already 40 minutes. Okay. We're on time. Great. Okay. Then we have 5 minutes, small discussion. Then probably we can have some volunteers to share a little bit. Okay. It's not right and wrong answers, but think about it. When you put yourself into different kind of a working place, what will you do? And to achieve your daily work or your mission or your target with so many different thinking of the people. You can find any person sitting next to you, or you want to stand up, find something different, the other side of the seat is fine. Then Later on, yes, later on we would like to invite some people to share a little bit. Okay, only 5 minutes, okay? So right now, I will open one person. I will open a slot for you to share in front of everyone what you observe or what you experience. Who wants to be here? Wow, this is the most effective things. Okay, gentlemen here? Okay, please share with us what you experience.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I think I want to share one thing. I wonder if this question or problem also bothers you. We all know everyone likes to hear stories, especially jokes. But sometimes, because of different cultures, when we hear some jokes, one group of people would laugh loud. However, the other group of people would stay silent. So I always think when we in such a situation, if we can't understand the joke, what will we do? Should we ask the speaker in private what your joke is about? And then, to my great surprise, I ever asked one of the audience, wow, you laugh so loud, so please tell me, what's so interesting? And she replied me, I saw everyone laugh, so I laughed too. So, I keep thinking about this question, because sometimes I do understand, but sometimes I can't. So I would think it's just because my lack of experience or I lack of cultural understanding. But I think to me, humor is a lifelong lesson. The more I learn about it, the more I will feel great and feel happy about myself. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions and also the feedback. This is the real demonstration that we will bump into in the real workplace. What happened to me if I heard the jokes that I didn't fully understand? I think I would smile and just let the jokes go away, because sometimes it will last too long. It's okay. If you still have the challenges with the, for example, language or the cultural understanding, that will still keep learning. It's not just failed and it's failed, right? So just cover back a little bit. Remember the things. Today is just a small seed growing into your mind that we already learned so many things than others, but why we're not trying to put into practice or make it much more powerful in a workplace to make us stand out than your colleagues. So the art of speaking, communication skills, you already know. How to be a leader, to show the influence, I think you already have. Just try to make it happen. So cover back to our topic today. You will learn how to make things happen. Just try to step one step further and try to speak up with much more confidence. If not just into the workplace in the first beginning, start from here and bring the successful experience into your workplace next time. Thank you very much. I think later on we will have some sessions to carry on a little bit. Thank you.
Please remain on stage. Just stay. And I'd like to invite Mr. Tandoc back to the stage for our QA session. Anyone has any question? I know you need some time to think about it, so I do prepare something. So maybe I will start for von Erich Tandoc. You told us how to build a good speech, to have a great confidence. But what if we encounter a difficult audience? What would you do?
That's a very good question, actually. Well, difficult people are always there, right? They're actually strategically located from one place to another. But in my experience in Toastmasters, very few are difficult people. Again, they are just strategically located from one place to another. And if you happen to have a difficult audience, one thing that I can share to you is this. Let that person speak. So let's say Ben, our district director here. I'm speaking here, and then he keep interrupting. Mindset is, yes, Ben, do you want to say something? I learned that from my facilitation because I'm doing facilitation too, right? So let that people speak. Yes, Ben. Difficult people sometimes they need attention. Give that attention. Remember, when you're the speaker, you're the presenter, you're not the only person up there. When we speak, the number one component of speaking is the audience. Why are they difficult? It's because they need to be recognized. Recognition is very important. The moment that you shift that focus and attention to him, believe me, in my experience, they become quiet because they were able to share what they want to share. People have different way of communicating. They can be rude, they can be mean, they can be difficult. But again, they are still your audience. Respect them, and when you respect them, you will get the respect that you deserve. Thank you.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tandoc. I think that's very important skill because we do have a pathways project called Deal with Difficult Audience. And like Carrie Lee mentioned, we're not always encountering friendly people at workplace. And I think we have a question here. Our microphone helper. Oh, it's William himself. Oh, we have our honored speaker deliver the microphone herself.
Thank you. Eric, I have a question. I'm doing the humor speech path, and I'm trying to be the one, trying to be the speaker who can control my body language better. But sometimes I'm just too exaggerating, and people call me drama queen, and I don't always get the effect I want. So, what kind of like a body language would you think is like more appropriate to the scene and humorous to the audience?
Okay.
And could you give us some examples? Thank you.
I mentioned a while ago that 55% is your communication to people. Where did I get the 55%? Have you heard about the meridian theory? The meridian theory, conceived by Albert Meridian, a professor in California, and he mentioned 55% is your body language, 38% is your vocal variety, and only your speech is 7%. That means to say you have 93% over your speech. Humorous speech is very challenging. I find it very challenging. It took me 2 years to finish my manual in humorous speech. In Pathways, we call it engaging humor now. Yes. But before, it took me 2 years to finish that manual, only 5 speeches. Why? Because it involves not only giving humorous speech, but also involving your body language. Now, the first tip here, always, just be natural. Okay? Just be natural. Of course, when you do a speech and you're delivering what do you call this one? Happy speech, but your facial expression is sad, then there's a contradiction, right? So there's a contradiction. First, start with your hand gesture. Don't involve your full body if you're having a difficulty on matching your body language to your speech or your presentation. Start with, how do you eat an elephant, right? Eat by small portion. How do you eat the elephant? Elephant is so big. So eat or consume very small portion of that. So I'm just using analogy here, right? How do you start on a big one? Start by portion. So maybe start with your body language, by your hand gesture, later on your facial expression, and then your body. So just like what I'm doing right now, right? I'm using my hand gesture. So start with a small portion of your body language. Because when you say body, from head to toe, right? So start small, you achieve more. That's my concept. And everything you do, not just only in humorous speech, not only in presentation, not only in body language. When you start small, you achieve more. Thank you very much for that question. Very wonderful question.
Thank you. And we have another question here.
Even though English is my first language, and I've heard the expression soft skills before, and I'm still not sure exactly what that means. Can you define that, explain that a little better?
So, who do you want to answer? Who wants to answer?
Oh, that's for me? Okay.
No.
Okay. So, yes. They said communication is very easy. I find it really hard. Otherwise, I will not be in Toastmasters, right? Otherwise, I will not engage with mentor, coach. But when we say soft skill, the hard skill, they think the hard skill probably the engineering, mathematics, science, right? Those are the hard skill. I have a different opinion on that part. I want to put communication, presentation, facilitation, or other means of communication into a hard skill, not just a soft. Soft skill is, when you say soft skill, maybe the easy part, right? Communication is not easy part, particularly if you're dealing with other people with different languages, right? So I want to put that into a category of hard one rather than the soft one. It's not an easy part. So that's only my definition of what I meant to what I mentioned soft skill. Let's start elevating communication into a hard, like in a subject matter, like when you were in elementary or in your college, right? Oh, that's hard. That's science. Well, how about language? Can you consider it a minor subject? So the point here is communication is not a minor subject. You put that in a category of a major subject because communication involves not only talking, but the conveying of message. And when you convey your message, for me, that's a hard one. World champions, sometimes they have 10 years before they win the championship, right? Because it's hard. Thank you.
Thank you. Carey, do you want to add something? No. Okay. So I do have one last question for Carey. Besides the joke problem we encountered, we just witnessed, what cultural difference do you find the most difficult to deal with?
That's really hard. What is the most difficult? Would you repeat the question?
Cultural difference.
Cultural differences. Like I mentioned before, our colleagues all from different nationalities, so the culture is If I have 10 different foreign colleagues, I have 10 different cultures. So I would say communication, people just echo back to what Eric said. Communication is really hard, but so many people think it's really easy. They just think talking is communication, but it's not. Communication means that when you transfer some of your ideas to others and others get your ideas completely 100% what you said. If it's not, means there's a noise that came in, then you need to recommunicate and reconfirm again. So communication is two-way, not just you throw the ball to the person and he catch. He need to throw it back. So the most difficult things when you talk to different foreigners, foreign workers, we need to make sure the first thing is, do they understand what we say? That is the most difficult one. It's not really related to culture, but it's just back to the conversation we're doing basic every day, because it's not just go that far to culture yet, but before that, when we try to deliver the standard communication, if it doesn't work, then you're really hard or difficult to get much further to details. I think that was my understanding.
Yeah, thank you, Carey Lee. I think what Carey just mentioned, we really practice it at Toastmasters every day. And now that wraps up our QA session. I'm going to invite our district director, Ben Lee, to present thank you note for our speakers. I just knew that I also have a gift.
No gift, only certificate.
Oh, only certificate.
Once again, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Last but not least, before we leave this room, I'd like to address two very important supporters here. The first one is Lara. Could you stand up and wave at the audience? She's a junior high school student, and she was one of the club presidents. Next is Jeannie. Jeannie's a fourth grader. She was a past president. They're both members of the Gavel clubs at Wagger International School, held by Mike Honda, our fellow excellent member. And please be seated, or you can go back to your seat. Let's give them a round of applause once again. Okay. This concludes our first English educational session. You can redeem the box lunch and dessert with your badge outside the room. And DTMs, you can join the gathering on the third floor. 请凭识别证于会场外排队领取午餐及下午茶点心盒。DTM 们领取后可上3楼参加餐叙。The following are English evaluation contest, Mandarin educational session, and Japanese speech contest. Please look at your agenda for more information. Enjoy the rest of the conference and have a fruitful weekend. Thank you.